Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope y'all are having a great day so far today. And in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit about Mishima and focusing mainly on her from the Higehiro series. Higehiro, I know I've only talked about once before on the channel, and that was my first impressions of the series, and I enjoyed it. And I've been enjoying the series as it's been continuing on throughout the spring season of anime. It's been one of my favorites. And we're just going to be focusing on Mishima and just how you guys feel about her. What do you guys think of her character? Where do you think it's going? And just kind of giving you guys my thoughts on like how she is as a character, just to myself. And I just wanted to let you guys know, a spoiler warning, just as a fair warning in advance, because I have seen the latest episode that came out. I believe it was episode 8 that just came out on Monday. So if you guys have not watched that, then I highly recommend you guys probably just click off the video and don't watch the rest of this, and just come back to it, I guess, after you guys watch episode 8. But yeah, what do you guys think of Mishima is what I'll ask you guys kind of up front at the beginning of this, and leave your comments down below letting me know what you guys think of her. Do you guys like her? Do you guys not like her? I've kind of heard kind of mixed reactions out of the fandom of what they think about Mishima. I see a lot of people that really like her, and then I see a lot of people on other sides that not as many as the people who like her, but I see some murmurs of people who say that they don't like her and they find her kind of annoying. To me, I personally like Mishima. I think she's a breath of fresh air and she's a really cool character. I think she's a good character to kind of support Yoshida in certain situations and support Sayu in certain situations, and just to kind of spice things up interaction-wise too, because she is one of those characters that, like I said, is a breath of fresh air because she doesn't hide what she's feeling really. She does just a little bit, but for the most part, she really speaks out her feelings. You know, she kind of has those engagements, those interactions with people, and asks those big questions, those tough questions, those really important ones that people really kind of need to hear, and making people kind of getting their heads turning and thinking about those important things in life, and kind of bringing people like getting them aware of different situations or different things that they might not have noticed before. For example, when she was talking to Yoshida on different situations, what was going on with him and how he kind of deals with people. A better example, I would say, would be the example from episode 8, when after the whole karaoke scenario and everything, when she took care of Sayu and was keeping her company and kind of got her away from the situation with her brother. And after that whole situation was over with and everything, and Sayu and Yoshida were gonna go home, he was like gonna repay her back by paying her back for like the whole karaoke session and stuff like that. But in that situation, that might have not have been the best thing to do, because Mishima was kind of going for, or hoping for, more so of like, hey, like maybe take her out on a movie date or something like that, or just something else, you know. Money doesn't always solve every problem or kind of come off as good when it comes to repaying someone back. Sometimes you want to kind of just sit down or just think, what does this person want? Or maybe you could just ask them like, hey, like, I know you did me a big favor. This was really nice of you. Is there any way I can repay you, you know? And you can just ask them that question, and then they can tell you what they want. Or it sounds a little bit selfish on the person, like the recipient's part of it, I guess, or the person who did the favor in the first place and is kind of asking them what they want. It seems a little selfish when you say it that way. But still, like, when you're the one that's wanting to give thanks to the person who did something nice for you, you want to actually do something that makes them happy, you know, because they made you happy for doing something nice for them at the end of the day. So why not be courteous and ask them, like, what would make you happy, or what would you want in return for this, or yeah, just something along those lines, you know, because be considerate and ask them of what they want, not always just you kind of assuming, oh, they'll want money because in this situation or something like that, because that's what you want, that's what you're choosing to do. You may think it's the right thing, but it might not be the right thing. It might kind of put them off in that sort of scenario. But so that's a good thing, because she pointed that flaw out to Yoshida and called them out on it, like, hey, that's one of the things that you need to work on. That's not exactly what I wanted, or that's not exactly what you should have done in that situation there. And also just kind of how she, like I said before, she brings up those really good points, talks to people and tries to kind of not get in their head in a bad way, but kind of tries to figure out where everybody stands, because she really loves Yoshida and we all know that, but we want to find out exactly, or at least she wants to find out where everyone stands. Do you really love him? Are you really going after him? When she was talking to Goto in that situation. In this situation that I'm going to talk about here, it brings up the points of something that I like about her, but a piece of her that I don't like. Like I said, the majority of me likes her, but I know that she can kind of get really like in her emotions. She can get real like amped up and in her emotions and kind of takes things a little bit too far sometimes. Like that situation when she's talking to Goto, took her to the side and was like, hey, let's have lunch and let's discuss something. And they were at work, and then she was kind of and she was bringing up some good points, asking her some good questions. And yeah, she was, like I said, bringing up some good information, asking some important stuff to Goto, and Goto had some good kind of counter arguments or like good responses to what she was saying and everything too. But she was kind of getting a little too amped up and a little too, I guess, passionate about, or I don't know, she's really passionate about the situation, so she was kind of getting too emotional about it at that point. And I like that Goto kind of sat her down and like told her, yo, like calm down a little bit, you're getting too riled up here, she's making too much noise, getting really angry. And when they're at work, you know, there's a time and place for these sorts of situations, and this is not it. I really like that Goto raised her voice at her and told her, you need to calm down, you need to go about this in a different way, this isn't the time or the place to be doing something like this, like I said before. So yeah, that was a piece of Mishima that I didn't really like. I don't like how she gets too worked up over something like this. I know she's really passionate about it, but there's a time and a place to do certain things like this, and she gets really kind of angry and in her feels a little bit too much sometimes, or at least from interactions that we've seen so far with her. And we've seen it maybe once or twice or something like that with Yoshida, just a little bit too. But that was just a little piece that I don't like too much about Mishima, but the majority of me likes Mishima. I like what she does, I like the interactions that she brings, I like how straightforward she is. I like I said, I think she is like a breath of fresh air in the show, because she brings up those important questions, brings up those important topics, and kind of gets things out there, gets the conversation going, gets your head turning a little bit on what you need to do and stuff, especially with the situation with Sayu, because Sayu, she saw her brother and she knows that he's looking for her, and with Mishima there, she helped her. She's always there to help, even though she knows that Sayu is probably going to take Yoshida away from her, and she's like not gonna be with Yoshida, and that's of course sad for her because she is in love with Yoshida. So she's helping Sayu in this situation, even though she knows this is what's gonna happen, or most likely gonna happen. But at the end of the day, she's a good person and she wants to help Sayu. She wants to make sure she's okay and stuff. And when this point does come about, she starts asking her all these questions during the karaoke little scene and everything when they are in that room. And these are some good questions that she starts asking her. It might seem a little bit too straightforward and too mean and stuff like that, maybe to some people, but these are necessary things that need to be asked. It might be an uncomfortable scenario for Sayu, and it might have seemed like she was uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, she's got to start asking herself these questions and start thinking about this, because the situation that she's in now with her brother, they know that somebody's looking for her. At the end of the day, we all know that whatever situation is going on there, because Mishima didn't know the exact details of it, know that it was her brother looking for her. She knows that whatever scenario is going on, it's going to lead to her end up eventually having to go home. So she knows her time is pretty much limited. So she's asking her these questions to kind of make her resolve whatever she needs to resolve before she ends up getting taken away and having to go back home to Hokkaido. So she asked her those questions, like those really important ones that might make her feel a little bit uncomfortable, like, what are you going to do after this? What are you going to do during this? Do you love Yoshida? Do you not? How do you feel about him? Because if you do love him, what are you going to do now? Because your time is limited here now, with you possibly going to be taken away pretty soon. She didn't say it exactly like that, but still she worded it in the way of like letting her know your time is limited. If you're going to do anything, you need to do it now. There's certain things in life that you need to take advantage of in the moment and right now, because things happen, you know, life happens. And if you get taken away now, who knows, you might never see Yoshida again. So if you really, really love this dude, You got to go for it now. And she's saying that stuff even at the same time that she knows that she loves, Mishima loves Yoshida. So she's helping her out in this situation, even though she's like a love rival or something like that. Like she's competition to her because she loves Yoshida. That's what I really like about her. She's making her like think about these things that she needs to think about. Like I said, those uncomfortable conversations, those uncomfortable things that you have to think about at some point, or most of the time, really, really important ones that you have to ask yourself at some point, sooner rather than later, so you can resolve any kind of situation that you're dealing with at that point. It's really good that she was asking her those things and talked to her and had that conversation with her, because now she can think about it and she can kind of come to a solution or a move that she's going to make in the future before she ends up going away, you know? In that last scene in the karaoke place with Yoshida, Mishima, and Sayu, it killed me, because you feel for Mishima, because I know a lot of people, including myself, have been in that situation where it's obvious that somebody that you love doesn't love you back, and it's not a good feeling, and it's not something that's kind of easy to kind of get over, you know? Eventually, of course, you're gonna have to kind of move on and get over it. It's easier said than done, but yeah, for her it's gonna be especially hard because she works with the dude and she's gonna see him all the time, but still, she blatantly knows that Yoshida doesn't look at her in that way, and it sucks, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks for her. And yeah, you see it obviously when Yoshida comes in and he's like really worried about her. He like sped all the way over there just to be able to make sure that she was okay and that things were all good and stuff between the two, and just to see what the situation possibly was. And he sees them interacting with each other, and you see the smile on Yoshida's face and just how they interact and everything. And she notices, Mishima notices right off the bat. You can see her kind of getting angry, like off on the side, but she doesn't do anything about it. It's just kind of like under the breath of her, because she doesn't want to make a scene, of course, but it's just frustration because she knows, and it's sadness because she knows that he doesn't look at her in that way, and she says it too. He doesn't look at me in that way, and she breaks down crying, and it's just a really, really sucky, sad scene because she knows that he doesn't love her and that he looks at Sayu in that way, and she's just like, I love him as much as anybody. Why can't he look at me in that way? And she's just breaking down, and it's just, it hurts me. It hurts me a lot to see her like that, because she's a really good character. She's a really cool, cute character that you just don't want to see get hurt in that situation. But of course, life doesn't work that way. It doesn't always kind of pan out in the way that you want it to go. So yeah, it just sucks for her, of course. And yeah, I just really like Mishima as a character overall. I like the way that she interacts with Sayu and helps her out. I like the way that she interacts with Goto and kind of asks her and brings up really good points, telling her like, oh, are you just gonna wait forever to see if he's gonna like go after you, or if things kind of play out in your favor or something like that? Why don't you take the initiative and go after him, you know? Because with Sayu being there, who knows what's gonna happen? Like, she might take him away from you, and if you love him, why would you let that happen? And yeah, and then of course she brings up some good points in rebuttal, but still, I like the way Mishima kind of initiates those conversations, gets those conversations going, and asks those important questions to people, to Goto, to Yoshida, brings up good points, and then to Sayu as well. Everybody that she really interacts with, she brings up really good points and asks those important questions and stuff. So yeah, I really like her as a character. Her interactions are great, and yeah, like I said, I don't like those like moments with her where she gets a little too over like worked up and stuff like that, but still, I really like her a lot. And yeah, I want to know what you guys think about Mishima overall. Do you guys like her as a character? Do you guys not like her as a character? What do you think is going to happen to her in the future? I obviously think that she's not going to end up with Yoshida. I'm not sure what's going to happen too much with her in the future. I think that she's going to, of course, like keep staying at the same job. I don't think she's going to leave or anything like that, and she's going to keep working with Yoshida and like keeping friends with him. But I don't think that it's going to turn into anything like romantically or something like that between her and him. And I think that she'll kind of like have maybe a relationship with Sayu and Goto, like a friendly relationship, of course, because they interacted now, and they all have the same interest of loving Yoshida. Maybe that might turn into a little bit of a bad thing, but still, I still think that they'll all kind of get along at some point. And yeah, I just want to kind of pick your brains a little bit on what you guys think of her. Do you guys like her? Do you guys not like her? Yay or nay on Mishima as a character? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Again, like I said, like the video if you guys do like it, and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already, and I'll catch you all later. You all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.